Hello everyone, we are from Group 1 and we would like to present today on the tools for Sharia estate planning. Before that, I would like to introduce our group members. There are 5 of them. First, Damayanti Anak Perempuan Murugeswaran, Fu Kai Cheng, Anusri Murthy, Go Jenmi and Nik Nurul Izni binti Nik Muhammad Azmi. Introduction. According to Kamaruddin and Nur Muhammad, the theory of systematic wealth designing by owners throughout their lifespan is deeply stressed in Islam. Wealth is a part of sustenance given by Allah to all mankind. Obtaining asset must be done in a lawful way and not contradict to the Islamic law. In Malaysia, there is nevertheless lack and interest mainly among Muslim society in property making plans, which is greater than around 60 billion property was not declared. This condition can be divided into 3 categories, namely Heger factor, wealth owner factor and legal factor. Further, these circumstances can also lead to bad effect to the society and also our nation. What is Sharia estate planning? Sharia estate planning refers to planning carried out by a person in his lifetime with regard to the distribution and disposal of his wealth upon his death in accordance with the principle of Islamic law. In our research, we target to interpret the potential tools in Islamic estate planning.
Objective. First, to put forward the enhancement of Islamic estate planning in Malaysia, including the establishing Sharia advisory framework. Second, to explain Islamic estate planning and management for Muslim, particularly in Malaysia. Third, to identify the important instrument in Sharia estate planning. Lastly, to find out the scope of journal articles based on the issues, findings and implication of the research. Background. Estate planning. The process of managing and administration the asset of an individual through the accumulation, conservation and distribution phase of his life in the most effective and efficient manner feasible. Islamic estate planning. Islamic estate planning stems from the Quran, which is the holy book of Muslim, and its interpretation in the Hadith. Majority of the Muslim community relying on the Farid totally without understanding the origin of the guidance as stated in Al-Quran. As a result, it is the responsibility as Muslim to be aware of the importance of Islamic international law as well as to put the laws into effect in order to secure the continuation of Islam knowledge.
The first tool is Wasiyah. Wasiyah is a form of donation or charity work that will be done by Muslims. This involves 2 parties which are testators, the owner and the beneficiary who received it only after the death of the owner. Wasiyah is defined as the gift from a person to another such as material wealth, property or benefit to be owned only after the death of the giver. Wasiyah has 4 main pillars which is testators, beneficiary, subject matter and contract. Distribution of Wasiyah. Wasiyah distribution is only for non-legal heir and the total amount of Wasiyah is not exceeding 1/3 of the total estate. Followed by Wasiyah is for performance of art of worship, ibadah such as Hajj and Umrah. Followed by making bequests for the selected people among relatives and neighbors. The legislation in making Wasiyah. Making Wasiyah can be done legally through an executor. The executor will be chosen by the testator while they are alive to supervise their bequest after his death. The making of bequest can be done verbally or written. Wasiyah authority is subjected to the 9th schedule list to state list Malaysian Federal Constitution. Every state in Malaysia has their own statute that includes the Sharia constitution over Wasiyah through Islamic religious administration. There are only 4 states in Malaysia have unique proficiency, which is Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, Melaka and Kelantan. In conclusion, Wasiyah is an important tool in Sharia estate planning.
The second tool of Sharia estate planning is Hibah. Hibah can be defined as a transfer of ownership of a property from a person who owns it to another party without consideration. It is also known as voluntary conveyance, which consists of gift, charity and rebate. making a hibah is encouraged in Islam. The permissibility of hibah can be found both in Quran and said, exchange gift among yourself and thus strengthen mutual love each with each other.
The next cause of Sharia estate planning is Faraid. Faraid is a concept which determines the distributions of deceased will to heirs, which has a legal-made relationship. Faraid distribution is according to the Al-Quran with the details in Surah An-Nisa verse 11 and 12. Based on this verse, legal heirs is divided into two categories, which is Asba al-Furud and Asba heirs. And the implementation of Faraid compulsory for Muslims and will be effective after the death of owners.
Now we present about the wakaf. The definition of wakaf is based on the Arabic word wakafa, which means causing a thing to stop and stand still. It also means detention, holding or keeping. To define wakaf, it is property made available for religious and charitable purposes that becomes non-transferable, and it is believed that once a wakaf is established, the property becomes the property of the Almighty and transcends human activity. Wakaf is frequently used to fund social projects and services due to its communal nature. Meanwhile, sadaqah is an informal form of voluntary charity. Donor, wakif, endow property, mawkuf, recipients of wakaf property, mawkuf alai, and a statement of wakaf desire were split into 4 pillars by juris sirgha. Restriction of wakaf. First, irrevocability was created to ensure that the charity purpose is carried out for the benefit of the general public as well as the originator, who will earn future benefits from Allah. Second, perpetuity seeks to safeguard existing wakaf from being taken over by people or governments, while also guaranteeing that contributions from a vast number of wakaf reach their intended beneficiaries. And lastly, inalienability was established so that no human could become the owner of what is claimed to be Allah's asset, which no one can sell, mortgage, give away, or inherit at any moment.
A valid Islamic will is a legally binding document that gives instruction on the way a person plans to leave behind his estate. A testator is the person who makes a will, while a legatee is the person on whose behalf a will is made. The will become effective and implementation when the testator dies. Following payment of financial expenses and any outstanding debts, the will is executed. The majority of people believe that debts to Allah obligatory as being ancient and so on should be paid whether or not they are mentioned in the will.
There are many issues and challenges in the Sharia estate planning, which is lacking understanding on the Islamic inheritance procedures, lacking understanding of the concept in inheritance, lengthy and costly procedures, attitude of beneficiaries or heirs in communities, rules of fatwa, codes of two codes, which is civil codes and Sharia code, and hibah applications. The scope of research is limited to the past research regarding to the topic of the tools of Sharia estate planning based on articles and other available resources. The articles used in this research is issues and challenges in Islamic estate planning in Malaysia, concept of Islamic inheritance law in Malaysia about issues and challenges, and the Islamic estate planning in Malaysia, the Lima. Other resources are used such as news, such as M-Star and characters are used to support the research.
Research finding. Article issues and challenges in Islamic estate planning in Malaysia. 60.62% of respondents have a lack of understanding of Islamic inheritance procedures. Beneficiaries ignored the estate for a long time until the Dewan Raya announced that the total amount of unclaimed estates was RM72 million according to the data. Next, article concept of Islamic inheritance law Faraid in Malaysia, issues and challenges. The community's and heirs' attitudes can lead to a breach of the estate by omission. Many people still do not comprehend the concept of Islamic inheritance division. The purpose of inheritance division by law is to determine the rewards and rights of a beneficiary. not to command the distribution of property. And last article, Islamic estate planning in Malaysia, the dilemma. The fatwa standardization process used in Malaysia results in different fatwas being issued by different states on the same fiqh issue, which may cause public confusion and lead to lengthy and costly. No individual state can be forced to accept a fatwa issued by the National Fatwa Council due to this type of execution. Suggestion for research finding. Al-Takharuj is an alternative solution other than the Faraid method that can resolve the conflict between the disputing parties, manage and plan their property during their life by writing a will. More aware of and educated about Islamic inheritance law, also known as Faraid, legal disputes can take a long time and cost a lot of money. Put in more effort to find and implement the best mechanism for standardizing fatwas in different states. The civil court can no longer discuss a case that is under the Shariah court's jurisdiction. And lastly, the law in Malaysia recognizes and accepts the use of hibah as a financial tool in Islamic banking and takaful products and services.
The implication of study is identifying and learn about the various tools of instrument used in Muslim estate inheritance through the journals that we use in this study. Second is enables to understand of the importance of Islamic estate planning. Third is participants will be aware of the issue and challenges related with Islamic estate planning. The last is learning about methods or recommendation of overcoming issues and challenges in Islamic estate planning. To summarize, Islamic estate planning is a very important component of a Muslim wealth management cycle. This report aims to explain the various tools used in Muslim estate inheritance, particularly in Malaysia. Wasiyah, hibah, faraid, wakaf, and wisaya are the main tools. I think that is all from our group. Thank you.